Until it all slipped backwards. It slipped backwards so badly that I almost lost everything, including my life. And here's my fuck-up story. So you know what I do by day? This is what I do, well, I can't say by night because that would just be shit scary. But when not at the office, I am actually quite good at falling on my face, be it my mountain bike, be it trail running, because I hurl myself down mountains very, very quickly. So I'm no stranger to fucking up. And what I love about fuck up nights is that it's all about killing it culture. You know those great stories and everybody's like, oh my God, my life is so fucking fabulous right now and this and that and everything else. I had a really great one of those in 2013. My life looked like this. I had a company that was 3 years old. It was growing. I had a very deep and broad network. In fact, most people in the city, if you said my name, they probably knew who I was. And I could connect you to whatever you wanted. My social media posts, because we never show the fuck-ups on social media, I actually had people saying to me, because it was all filled with shots like this and off in the mountains, everybody's like, do you actually even work? So I had a pretty sweet life at the time. Until it all slipped backwards. It slipped backwards so badly that I almost lost everything, including my life. And here's my fuck-up story. In 2010, I started Big Bold Brand. By 2013, things were going fantastic. It was growing, and it was growing quickly, and I needed help. I needed there to be more than just me and some contractors in the business. So my wife joined me in the business. She had a complementary skill set to my own, and the intention was to continue to grow the business, to accelerate it. And that we did. By 2015, we'd seen increasing growth year over year, and we thought, hey, this is pretty awesome. I think it's time to upgrade and move over to the North Shore, where I had dreamed of being for 15 years from the time that I moved here. I had always wanted to be at the foot of the trails in the North Shore because when I moved here, I was a professional mountain biker. I was racing at elite level. Where I ended up was Point Grey. Okay, that was a bit of a fuck up, but anyways, that's a side story. So we thought about it, and Elise went online and researches as she does, and she found Walter's Place. This was ultimately our dream home, and we decided, yep, we're going to make the leap. We're going to buy it, and we're going to upgrade not just the business, we're going to upgrade our life. Now, at the time when we made the purchase, it was still a bit of a stretch, and we trusted that the business would keep growing. So we signed on the dotted line. No sooner did we do that than shit started to slip backwards. Our revenue stream slowly started to decrease. Our referral stream dried up. The phone stopped ringing. And when you put a new client in front of me, keeping in mind that when in the good old days of I'm killing it, my closing ratio was over 80% if sent a qualified client. I couldn't close a deal to save my life. The growth we had seen in the last 2 years slipped backwards. It went away. I stopped sleeping. I barely slept. It was less than a year out till we actually had to close the deal because we bought a pre-sale. We were waiting for it to finish. And the anxiety I started experiencing was like nothing I had ever experienced before. Now, I have been challenged with anxiety for a long time. It's actually a legacy thing in the women in our family. It's just there. But I had managed to mitigate it and deal with it in a healthy way through sport. Sport was no longer working. I started to tell myself stories. All the business success you've seen, oh, that's just luck. You couldn't sell yourself out of a wet paper bag. You know that expertise that you have? You can't sell it. You must be irrelevant. I got dangerous to myself. I had no idea how to get myself and my wife, who is now in the business with me, out of this situation. I put it all on my own shoulders. I built the business. It was my responsibility, and I got us into this. The anxiety morphed into depression. It had never gone there for me before. I had no idea. I felt nothing. It's the thing they don't tell you about depression. You actually feel nothing. I couldn't get excited about anything. I couldn't see a future. And at one point, it got so bad, I said, you know what? If this is adulting, I don't want to play anymore. And Elise looked at me and she said, do I have to worry about you offing yourself? And I stopped. Remember, I'm feeling nothing, and I stopped in my left brain. And any of you who know me, I am not a left brain, non-emotional person. And all that was chirping was my left brain, and it was like, no, I don't think so. I hadn't actually thought about it. I was so completely disconnected that I was freaking out my wife. So, while I sat there stuck, not knowing how to get myself out of this, fortunately, my wife is incredibly patient, resilient, and resourceful. And she's the one who actually got me out of this. First solution, she thought, fuck it, I'm going back to a job with a regular paycheck. And thank God she did. It took a lot of the pressure off. The second solution, let me introduce you to Pam Slim. Notable author, amazing community builder, business coach, family friend, and Elise put a call into Pam. She was looking for that one person that she knew that could help me deal with me, help me turn the business around. Because ultimately, I'm an entrepreneur. The business is so much of my identity. So within days, Pam was wheeling me in to the metaphorical ER, the business ER, and she was performing what she called triage on me and on the business. What are the symptoms? Let's get to the root cause. What the heck is going on? Well, what the heck is going on is my fuck up. And I'm going to share it with you and tell you how I got around it so that you never have to experience it. So in 2013 to 2015, business was so great and I didn't have to go looking for business. I convinced myself that all I had to do was the billable work. And I got caught with my head down doing the in the business work. I was ignoring the on the business work. I wasn't out there networking. I wasn't connecting with my strategic partners. I wasn't attending events. I wasn't speaking. I was just in the office with my head down doing stuff. You know what the interesting thing is I bloody well know better. I've been a part of enough mastermind groups, I've read enough books that always say, always be building your business. Well, the first part of it is I just felt too damn busy to do it. Probably got a little cocky. But eventually I stopped doing it because as the business was sliding backwards, I was feeling shame. I was completely ashamed of being this notable business person who people don't see fail unless they ride with me and watch me fall on my face. And I couldn't turn this sucker around. And this is kind of what the world started to look like. I just neglected my community and it just forgot I was there. And rightly so. So the most valuable lesson that Pam taught me in those triage days was planting seeds. AKA TMAs, Tiny Marketing Actions. Plant seeds every day. Tiny marketing actions are as simple as call a strategic partner. Say, hey, what's going on? How can I help you? Put a blog post out. Put a blog post out. Write an article. Call a market, call an association or a business organization and offer to put on a lunch and learn. Doesn't take much time every day to do these things. But over time, they accumulate. And then the referrals start flowing. And the more you do, the more it happens. And the more opportunities you find out throughout your network. So that really started to work. And undoubtedly, that was the thing that turned the business around. That was the thing that turned me around because of the positive affirmation you get, right? You're no longer alone. You're out there talking to people. So then, being the athlete that I am, you're probably wondering what the hell the Garmin watch had to do with anything. Well, here's the thing. So this was another Elise solution, completely unintentional. My wife loves gadgets. Don't tell her, and she's going to know I said this because I know it's being recorded, but some of our friends actually call her Geardo. She will research the heck out of whatever it is she's interested in buying. And here's the other thing about my wife. She will give me the world, but she is so possessive of her gadgets. Like, don't dare touch them. So here was me stealing her Garmin watch when I was going for runs so I could track things. And that, as you can imagine, didn't go over very well. So she's like, I'm going to buy you your own for Christmas. And I'm like, babe, no. Like, it's too expensive. It's like it could fly a plane. I don't need all of the things that it does. I don't need to track my sleep hours. I don't need to track my quality of sleep. I don't need to know what my VO2 max is. I'm not racing anymore. Don't worry about it. I don't need to fly a plane. She wasn't having it. She bought me the watch. About 3 weeks later, here's me. I know what my VO2 max is. I know how well I've slept. I know how many steps I've done. I'm on my phone all the bloody time. Guess what? Checking all the cool stats. So one morning I wake up and I reach for my phone, going to check my stats. And I hear this mocking voice that says, oh no, honey, I don't need the gadget with all the gizmos on it because I won't use it. You don't even say hi to me in the morning before you reach for your phone to check your stats. Okay, so I was wrong. So what did I find out? Gamification works really well on Carly. So here's what I did. I went, so I like the hits of dopamine that I get when I achieve little goals. Whoops, sorry, go back one. Where'd it go? Okay, so I went out and bought myself a day planner. And I went out and bought little stickers. Remember in kindergarten when your teacher wanted you to do something and they dangled a gold star sticker in front of you? That would be me. I will work my can off. They work like a hot damn on me. So I gamified planting seeds. And my first step was 5 sales actions for 4 days of the week. Just like anything else, you give yourself a day off, right? So 20 sales actions. Those were 20 sales actions that I wasn't doing in 2013 to 2015. And then I put it on steroids. So now I set monthly goals. I track daily sales actions, one-on-one networking events, one-on-ones like coffees, wines, whatever, visible expert activities. Hey, this is Carly, here's my marketing tip of the day, type thing. There's one more that I can't remember, but it's probably written up there. Oh, referrals given, right? You want referrals in, you'd put referrals out. So I track those now monthly, and this makes me so happy, I can't even tell you. My inner 5-year-old is just like, oh my God, this is awesome. So here's how the story ends. Tiny marketing actions turn the business around. It's actually, when I think back on it, other than thank God for my wife, I can't really associate much else, and here's where it landed. Within a year of working with Pam and integrating those tiny marketing actions, I not only gained back what Elise and I had grown the business to, I grew it another 30% on my own. So that how to grow money on trees thing, it kind of does exist, right? And I'm very happy to say this is our view every day. We closed the deal on the condo, and I couldn't have done it without her.